Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For tracks, obviously. On the left.
became steel resistant.
Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Earthworks Hub. With me today we have Troy Karevski from Graders Official. How you going, Troy?
Doing well, mate. Doing good.
That's it. Welcome to my little humble studio.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
And the casting couch, as we call it.
It's comfortable.
It's a comfortable.
It's comfortable. It's very work spec. I like it. I feel at home. At home.
It is. There's a full like Italian Natuzzi, whatever they call a couch.
It's right from Franco Cozzo.
Man, that's the one. But it doesn't come with any extras. That's it. That's it.
No,
thank you for coming into the show. You know what, man? This is going to be a casual chat, like we're talking about.
That's what it's about.
So if you want to ever ask me something during the podcast, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's not your first podcast, is it?
No, it's not.
You've been on other ones. How did that go, man?
Yeah, really well. Look. To be honest, like kind of like intimidating. Like, what do I say? What do I do? Like, how do I act? Like, you're having a general conversation with somebody. It doesn't have to be super critical or super sterile, or super informative. Like, just have a conversation. That's what people want to hear.
Yeah. It is, because I remember when I first started, I even look back and I cringe, man, at some of my first videos, and I'm like robotic. And my wife used to say, "You're too stiff, man. Just be yourself." I'm like, but I have to be professional. And I'm like, she's like, "No, just be yourself."
Just be yourself. That's what people expect nowadays. Like, maybe we should just start doing shots just to relax,
Yeah, man. Yeah, actually, you know what? I didn't even offer, man. I've got my little bar there. Yeah. Well, we've had our coffee. Now we need the shot to go down.
Yeah, bad. Yeah, but look, it does have to be super critical. I mean, it's just a general conversation.
Yeah.
This isn't an informational video, like where you get super critical information. Like, we're just having a chat about earth moving, about heavy equipment, about marketing, about media, about everything else. So let's chat.
That's it, man. That's it. Well, you know what? Let's get into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself. So how did Graders Official start, and how did you get into the industry?
Oh, well, it's pretty interesting story. So originally, the way I got into the industry was I always wanted to become an operator, but didn't know how to get in. That's just pretty much with 99% of people nowadays. The amount of messages I get with everyone saying, "How do I get in?" I'm like, look, it's easy, but not easy at the same time. The biggest thing that got me into the industry, and one thing I try to teach people, but you can't teach this, is your work ethic and your attitude. Like, if you haven't got that, you won't get very far real quick at all whatsoever. Working on that would be the super critical fundamentals you need in order to be able to really get far and get into this industry. So, like, having a strong work ethic of being a carpenter for 10 years and being self-employed really kind of gave me that grit and that tenacity to, like, really excel in what I do and to really, like, take knowledge and, like, learn about things. And, like, don't be afraid to ask questions would be the massive thing as well. So, yeah, effectively, I started as a carpenter back in 2008. And then I left I did that for 10 years. I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to be like in a machine. I was sick of being on the tools and everything else, and being self-employed just wasn't for me. A lot of people told me you should be self-employed. You got the love, the passion, the drive. I said, that's fine. That's all good and all. Yes, I do. But it just wasn't my lifestyle. I didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to work, do the hours, and just be like that, and that's it. So then I got involved. I met somebody who was a subcontractor for Winslow. He had his own grader out there as well. So he was working for a company that had the machines out to Winslow. And he goes, "Oh, look, I know someone that works at Winslow. I can give you a phone number." I said, "Yeah, sweet, done." So I called the bloke. I said, "Look, you had a chat with this bloke," and I won't mention names. And he goes, "Oh, look, you've been referred quite highly. Come in for an interview." I said, "Yeah, no worries, all good." So I walked into Winslow's office in Campbellfield, had a chat with him, told him I'm a self-employed carpenter. I'm a very switched on person, ready to rock and roll, They said, "Look, it's pretty impressive. We'll give you a call back in 2 weeks." I literally got up Barry Road within 2 minutes. Phone call from Winslow. I'm like, what's going on here? And what happened was the chick that worked there, I actually went to school with, and I've known her, and her mum was my prep teacher. We're talking donkey years ago. And she's like, "Yeah, come, you can start in 2 weeks' time." I'm like, oh, God. So it kind of works out like kind of both ways. Like, the more you know, the better you are getting a job. But then it works in the same way. Like, if you know someone within the industry, it's like it really gets you in a lot quicker and fast tracks you a lot there quicker as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I found. Started at Winslow. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to rock and roll. Like, where do I begin? Like, I had no idea. Like, they said, "Look, you're going to be labouring." I said, "Done. Give me a shovel. Like, let's get into it." And I started on road crew, just checking levels, string line, tape measure, paint, just checking heights.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And that's when I started to see, this is where we start to transition to the grader now. I'm like, oh, this grader, like this is back in, 2017. And then I'm like, great. I'm like, oh, look at this thing making the road, the blade, the wheels. It's all happening. It's busy. We're constantly flat out. I'm like, I'm really, really enjoying this, like being on the ground. And I did that for a bit. I'm like, oh, I started busting the foreman's chops. I go, look, oh, can I get in the seat? And they're like, oh, look, we'll let you on here an hour here, maybe 10 minutes there. And it all started with, jumping on at smoke and lunch, sacrificing those times. And the other boys like, yeah, sweet, go for it. You can knock out those poles. You can do whatever. I'm going to have a break. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm happy to jump in. So I stayed back, used to do that. And then only 8 months of labouring, man. They tried out this new guy. And it didn't work out. The bloke had 13 years experience. He'd done it all, this and that. Mate, I hear those stories all the time.
Yep.
And he stuffed up majorly. And they approached me. So the area manager approached me. He goes, oh, look, we know that you're keen. We'll start you out in the paddocks. Do you want to be an operator? I said, I've only been labouring for 8 months, but I'm like, dude, super keen. I'm like, yeah, done. And then like within that hour, a grader rocked up. I'm like, I'm in a machine. But people, this is the thing, people bad mouth. Look, that every company is all different. We understand that. But people kind of give a bad name to those types of companies in the civil industry. Look, people have their preferences and they're kind of like what they want to, persuade them as a certain way.
Yeah.
But you know what? Without them, people wouldn't be where they are today. I would not be with, where I am today without that company. So yeah, I did that. And that's where Graders Official actually started when I actually worked at Winslow. Okay. So I'm like, I was posting that type of content on my personal page. It was only family and friends, and they were like, oh, yeah, grader, cool, 4 likes, and no one comment. I'm like, so I started to look into Instagram, but for graders in general. And, like, there was a couple pages in the US, and there's one in Europe, and a few in the Middle East. They were like, they'd post, like, once a month, and it was like, it was nothing consistent. And that's when I started really getting into social media in that space. I'm like, you know what, I want to start my own thing. So I started it, and I'm like, I'm just happy to just share people's work. Like, send me a photo and I'll repost it and I'll write a little caption and just kind of get your name out there, get your work out there. And it just started off like that. And I thought, you know what? And then I saw another Instagram page. I don't know if the bloke's still in business at the moment, but it was Booms Up Friday.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you probably know him.
For that, yeah.
It was a very long time ago as well. And I'm like, okay, Friday, what can we do Friday? And then, of course, Final Trim Friday. I'm like, okay, I could do a little thing once a week, Final Trim Friday. So I started doing that. I go, okay, this is starting to gain bit of traction now. So and it just started to grow traction. Then you start to network, then you start to connect, and people say like, oh, where are you from? And then, you tell them what you do, and then you start to chat to them with what they do as well and who you're working for. And it just snowballed from there.
There you go, man.
And since then, like, it's just grown massively. Like, I just can't believe how big it's grown. Like,
yeah.
It's huge. But what thing that's kept my name consistent is literally consistency. So I've seen other Instagram pages come up, like they've had such potential, like real potential, and like they'd post like nearly every day. I go, that's great, that's consistency. But then they just drop off and they go dead and they ghost.
Yeah.
And they had so much potential, but that's what keeps me going. Is when I wake up in the morning, I'm on it. Yeah. When I go to bed, I'm on it. Like this is just like, I'll just think of a picture and just post it. This is me every single day, waking hour, every minute.
Yeah.
Trying to find content, trying to find information, trying to find news and mining and construction stuff to post up on social media, because I literally care about it. I'm like, oh my God, it's in my blood now. Like, I want to do it. And people go like, God, this guy's like crazy. Like, so obsessed about one certain machine. But that's where I am today, is because I'm obsessed with one certain machine.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's me rambling on.
I think it's good though. Like what you say, 2 things there. One is you need to get a niche. You need to find a niche.
Yeah.
So that's good. You found your niche. That's what you do. Otherwise you spread yourself too thin. That's
what I find a lot of people do. They spread themselves too thin, and you're just like, oh, hold on. Like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. But like, you got to draw your energy into one thing and really let it blossom.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other one is that it's not, like you say, it's not like it's like a little side hustle part-time thing, but you've got to be on it all the time.
You do, yeah, you do.
I find myself on the phone. The other day, I was looking at my screen time. It was 11 hours. Screen time for the day, and I go 11 hours. That's nearly from the moment I woke up to the time I went to bed.
Yeah,
11 hours, and I was like, "Holy moly, this is full on." 11 hours screen time. Like, then no wonder I get sick sometimes. I'm like just constantly on there doing stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'll be like, "All right, I'm going to give it a break." I'm not looking at it. I put it down, and 2 seconds later, I'm like, "Oh yeah." And
I start doing something. The exact same thing.
You just can't put it down.
You can't put it down, but you know what? It's a beautiful addiction. You know, I'd rather be addicted to that than addicted to anything else. Because, like, I don't have motorbikes, I don't have cars, I don't do big holidays. This is literally my life. It's, and you know what, I absolutely love it. Like, it's hard to get burnt out, but you know what, it's just like, it's so addictive.
Yeah.
You know what's addictive about it is, again, is networking, connecting with people. Like at the start, it was about like, you know, finding really cool videos and photos of graders working and stuff like that. But now, like, nowadays, with where I am in the space I am and how much the page has actually grown, I'm enjoying networking a lot.
Yeah.
So I chat to people around the globe, especially from the US is my largest audience. So I speak to a lot of people in the US, and I speak to quite a few people from Europe, and just more or less just getting information and news about technology, applications, upcoming events around the world. I mean, like, I'm not even part of it. Like, I haven't traveled overseas for a show yet. I hope I do.
There you go.
And yeah, and it's just people have asked me, "Oh, you're gonna go Connex? You going Balmer?" People thought I went to Balmer this year. I'm like, nah, I was sitting in a grader in central Victoria building a road, and everyone thought I was there because, again, it's the global reach that I have. Like, I just shoot a message saying, "Hey, can you send me some photos and videos of this grader?" And I just send them a t-shirt and some stickers and whatever. Like, I'm happy to reimburse people for their time, like to go up there and, or if they're up there, I go, "Look, thank you so much for that. I'm more than happy to accommodate for that," you know? So, and that's what helps grow my page is information like that. And I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
There you go, man. Graders Official.
Yeah, that's
so is Graders Official like your business name, or is that just the name of the page?
Yeah, so it's a business. So I've got an ABN and everything. So it's a legitimate business because I do sell merchandise on the side as kind of a side hustle. Yeah. So t-shirts, hats, stickers, hoodies, that type of stuff. Yeah. The website isn't up at the moment, but I'm working towards it because I'm pretty busy. And yeah, it's a legitimate business as well. So if people want to reach out, like I've done some media work for some people as well. So I do a lot of media stuff for Cornfoot. So I do filming and content for them. I shoot it through to them. I've done some stuff for a finance company in New South Wales. So I had some media stuff that they required. So I went out and filmed, took some photos for them, sent it to them as well. Another large diesel fitter down here in Melbourne, they said, "Look, we've got a big truck that we want to sticker out with some images of a dozer and a dump truck." They said, "Do you have anything?" I said, "Of course." Go through my catalogue, or if I don't have it, I've got many connections down here in Melbourne. I go, "Look, I need some photos of a digger. And do you mind if I just take a few photos?" I'm going to send it to them. Happy to blur out your name. I can reimburse you for your time. You know, give them some merchandise as a thank you. Yeah. And they've stickered their whole work truck up with images of the dozer and the dump truck and stuff just purely from my photos.
There you go.
So, like, again, like, and all I do is I just send them an invoice. You know, they pay me for my time, and obviously I've got the camera and the drone and everything else. I've got editing software. I've got to pay for stuff as well. Yeah. So like, you know, they pay for that, and I get reimbursed for that. So, but people say, "Oh, you must make, you know, thousands of dollars off social media, off Instagram." I go, "Look, I kind of do, kind of don't. It's not my sole income. It's probably like 5% of my income, this social media stuff. It's more of a passion. Look, if I can make money, even better." It doesn't hurt, and people are willing to pay. Like, you know, you want stickers, 100%. You know, you want t-shirts, whatever, 100%. I'm more than happy to give them out to you.
But you do have that cost, you know what I mean, isn't it? It's not cheap.
It doesn't cost me something. It costs me my time, though, my time and effort, because I care about what I do, and I put a lot of effort behind it as well. Yeah. So, like, again, I want to be reimbursed, and again, because of the growth of my page and where it is today, like, it's like at the point when I was at 15,000 followers, I'm like, yeah. I'm not concerned about nothing. 25, I'm like, oh, 35, I'm like, okay, I really need to start thinking of a business model right here. Now I'm surpassed 50,000. I'm okay, like, all right, this isn't, like, I love you guys, but like, this isn't a charity anymore. Yeah. Like, you know, you want something, and I'm like, I've got a global reach on what you want to sell and market and showcase. Like, you're going to have to pay for my time. Like, I'm happy to do it as like a collaborative thing. That's no dramas. Yeah. But like, if you want to pay for us like marketing space or something, I'm happy to advertise. Well, again, it's not a charity anymore. But look, I'm happy to do it. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're happy to reach out, reach out. But like, it's not a charity anymore. Like, it's one of Australia's largest social media pages in that specific niche. Because look, there are larger pages, greater pages on TikTok and on Facebook. And look, full respect to them. I don't bag out anybody. Like, if you're bigger than me, like, that's great. Like, I applaud that. Yeah. That's awesome. But I'm just specifically just Instagram and just graders. And I've done extensive research. I think I'm Australia's largest. I'm pretty sure I am. But I consistently put out content every single day. I try to every day.
Yeah.
But keep it relevant, keep it fun. I might put like 4 posts out being like super informative and then throw up something stupid at the end of the week to get everybody laugh. And I love it because it gets such an audience, gets people talking and they hate, oh, you don't grade this way, you don't do that way. I just laugh and I'm just sitting there having popcorn in the background, reading through the comments. I'm like, that's so good.
That's what, you need. You need to break it up a bit. I find that a lot of times, a lot of my stuff is all like serious stuff. It's all like business, and I always think I should throw some funny stuff in and that, but I never get to it. I'm always like, yeah, I'll put something funny in. Or once I did bloopers, I showed some bloopers of what I did, and everyone loved it. And I'm like, oh man, I deleted so much of that content. Like as I'm editing, I delete it, and I'm like, I should save that and then put a bloopers thing up. So now I'm starting to like save stuff because.
We're human, man. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. We say stupid things. I mean, I got that many from DDT, like trying to record the perfect video. I was saying I was in the wrong location. I was there for the wrong person. I'm like, what am I trying to say here?
Yeah, I'm the same.
What am I trying to say here? Yeah. But even Earthworks Hub, man, like you've grown such a page so well, and you've got such a large audience that you've actually attracted in your space. You know, like going from like showcasing people's work to then helping them out and attaining winning projects. Like, it's awesome, this hub, man.
I love it. Connecting everyone.
That's what I like about. That's what I like what you do, is because you're connecting people, you're networking people. So if you don't know the person, then you connect them to someone else that you know. Yeah. You're the middleman in it all, and that's what the great thing. And you're literally like the Earthworks hub as well.
Well, that's what I wanted it to be, because I always thought while I was doing Earthworks with my business and that, it's hard. Like it's hard because everyone's so busy doing stuff, and then during the day everyone's working. It's hard to ask questions and talk to people, and a lot of people don't want to talk during the day. And and then I'd be ringing my other mates that are subbies, and we'll be all like complaining about the industry and stuff, or helping each other trying to find a tip site somewhere or something, you know, or find work even. And then I thought,
but that's where you found the middle market. That's where you come in. Yeah,
that's it, man. And then I'm seeing it, and that's why. Sometimes I have my down days where I'm like, I have a meltdown. I'm like, this is shit. I've had enough. Why am I doing this crap? And then the same thing, like you say, people think we're making money out of this, like we're killing it. And then I'm like, I'm making nothing out of this. Man. And then I say to my wife, like, what am I doing? I could be out working on the machine for the day, make my money, and that's it. I'm done. And I'm doing all this. And then she used to say to me, she was my biggest advocate. Just think about what you're doing. Think about all the people you've connected that have helped each other, bought machines from each other, bought trucks. And like other guys that are now like become really good mates as a result of that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
That's what it's about. Yeah. That's what it's about. You're helping connecting people, you know, networking as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's the feeling. That's what I like about it. Like you were saying before about Graders Official. You're just seeing that connection between everyone in the industry. It feels good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, no, I like what you do, mate. It's really good. And especially the Sunday shows that you do as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're really informative as well, and you're getting random people in to ask questions, you know. There's no silly questions here, you know. We have a general conversation about whatever. It doesn't have to be like, oh, what buckets do you use? It's just like, what information do you use? Where do you got your podcast material from? Like, it could be just you just, you know, spit a bit of shit about, you know, what you got up to on the weekend, how drunk did you get? What did you eat that? Yes,
because I know a lot of people sitting at home and probably thinking, man, I wish I could talk to someone.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? And then they're like, all right, well, we'll have a chat then. Because I do it sometimes during the week as well. If I'm bored, I'll just put up a thing, say, hey, let's talk, man.
Yeah.
So, because I know like a lot of guys, and we talk about mental health too, I suppose.
That's a big thing.
It's a big thing. A lot of people are just sitting there at home and then they're thinking, oh, what am I going to do? At least if you can have a chat with someone, you feel good after.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of all those. But yeah, sorry, the Sunday live is good. Yeah, I tried to make it so that it's every Sunday.
Yeah.
So everyone knows. It's like I wanted it to be like the footy show when they like.
Yeah.
You know? So every Thursday night, everyone knows the footy show.
Like Sam Newman.
Yeah, I won't be like that.
Don't be Sam Newman.
No, I won't be.
You need like a background Trevor Marmalade.
I need someone like that. Yeah. So I'll tell you, man, it's come a long way. I'd love to have it so that like we have a panel in here and like we all sit and then talk.
But, I like that.
It's a big thing, and also everyone's spread all around Australia, so I can't like have everyone here. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard to do this down here in Melbourne because there's not a lot of people that actually do it besides yourself.
No, true, man.
Like I'm so surprised I had to drive 40 minutes to get here. I'm like, last time I did a podcast, you know, I had to go. I had to fly there. It was great. I loved it. Thank you so much. But like, you know, I loved it. But like, it was just good. Like, it was like, oh, this is nice to just drive 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually come and connect and chat with somebody. Like, but again, down here in Melbourne, like it's weird how earth moving is down here. The industry is. It's totally different to what it is around Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know what it is here. Like one thing I notice here is that there's a lot of us there's a lot of negativity in it.
I don't know, it's
I
weird,
don't
isn't
know
it?
why,
I don't
man.
know why either. Yeah.
Like people, and I see that a lot in certain parts. Like sometimes people are a bit negative about the industry, and it's a bit hard because if you look at even now, man, some of the rates, the hourly rates, and that are like what
They're
we were getting
ridiculous.
15 years ago.
Yeah,
man.
it's getting bad.
And maybe that's what it is. That's what it is. People are getting
I think so.
chopped all the time.
Yeah, that's right. You're scared you're going to be, you'd be awarded the work, but then you lose it to somebody that comes in saying, I could do it for $5 cheaper. And you go, well, I've just lost it. But like, your outlay might be massive, but then now their outlay is nothing because they don't need an outlay. They don't have any finance or nothing they owe on the machines or trucks or whatever. Yeah. But you do, but you can provide this service, but then like they can provide the same thing for $5 cheaper. It's a no-brainer. Like it's you're fighting for work.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to New South, WA, SA, and Queensland, like people are so warm and welcoming. Say you got a machine, no worries, we'll put you on straight away. It's like awesome. Like they're happy to share around work. But what it comes down to again is the whole Victorian thing, where like the state funding has just dried up. There's no funding at all whatsoever. There's funding. We've been rewarded funding.
Yeah.
But we know where the funding's gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we know where it's all gone.
Yeah.
And like it's unfortunately that's the other people that are suffering, like all the smaller contractors. They're just struggling for work. And now that we have the whole thing of the development tax, like it's not worth buying 600 acres for development. No. You're better off you actually make more money just putting cattle on it than selling it for development.
That's what's happening.
Because you get taxed so much on it.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of subdivisions are starting to slow down a lot of bit because of the whole development tax.
I know some developers and they're all saying that it's not what it used to be.
It's not what it used to be.
And that's why everything's come to a bit of a halt. It's not worth it.
Because we owe so much. The state owes so much money.
Yeah.
That's why. And that's where it draws up. That's where our state government's getting their money from.
Yeah.
Is from developers.
Yeah.
It's gone the absolute other way around.
Yeah.
We're going to tax you a lot more for development. I go, hold on, what's the point of ever selling now? I'll just put 1,000 sheep on it. I'll make more money off the meat and the wool.
Yeah.
Instead of developing it.
That's right.
It's a red hot shame, but it's just, look, it's just the way things were 5 years ago, and that's where we ended up now today, and where things could be in the next 5 years is a big unknown, but we're not getting any closer to paying off that debt at all whatsoever. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, it's such a political thing, this whole construction thing down here in Melbourne. It's literally so much backed up by politics, so much.
It is. It affects everything.
It affects everything. People don't realize, like, I don't care who I vote for, this and that. Like, well, yeah, who you do vote for actually does count, because you know what? It could definitively decide, like, how much more work we actually get to have down here.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lot of people have gone up to Queensland and Western Australia just to go find work. They're floating the machines up there for work.
Yeah, I had a mate recently that just told me he's moved his 50-tonner and a couple other machines up there because they're to Queensland.
Yeah.
Because he goes, there's just no work here.
Yeah.
But also he did say to me that he noticed since he's been there that the people are different, and then he goes, everyone's a bit more positive there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
exactly what you were saying, man.
Yeah, that's right.
He just goes, there's a different vibe.
Yeah, massively different vibe. Massively different vibe. So look, whether or not Victoria will change, who will know? It depends who we vote for. It depends who's in Parliament as well. But look, let's have a general chat. That's a big rabbit hole I get stuck down sometimes. But
Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Winslow. So are you still at Winslow?
No. I left there many years ago. So I left Winslow purely because I felt like I needed to leave. I was a bit stuck there. Look, they offered me a foreman role, leading role many times. I said, no, I want to be an operator, but I kind of like, the expectations of what they required there was a little bit, at that time, for what I knew back then, was a bit too much. I'm like, look, I want to kind of diversify and kind of explore just where I am today. There's people still there today from when I left, and look, again, hats off to them, good on them. Like, people are happy to stay. If they want to stay there, you can stay there. I'm not bad mouthing the company whatsoever. So I left there. I wanted to kind of explore more of like just other contractors as well. So I left there and got a job at Mad Brothers. So they bought a grader and I caught wind of it, and I went and worked there for Anthony and Adrian, and I was their grader operator for 3 years. And, I enjoyed it. They put me on the dozer. I did this and that. And, I enjoyed it. It was good. But you know what? They're another great company as well. They've got some beautiful trucks and they're good at moving dirt.
I've been loading them recently.
Yeah.
They come and do some of the dirt for removal for the guy I'm working with.
Yeah.
And I've been loading their trucks.
Yeah. Oh, look, their drivers are good. It's a good company as well. They're really good at moving dirt. Put it that way. They're good at, their trucks are good. Like I said, the trucks are good, but they're really good at moving dirt.
And all the drivers are nice. You're right.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah, they're nice drivers. Yeah, I speak to a couple of them now and again, but they're good drivers. And again, like I was kind of got to a point where like COVID was really hitting, and it was all more or less like delivery drivers are good, so they could keep on working. But like I was stuck in a machine. I didn't have a truck license at the time. I'm like, like I'm kind of stuck in the machine, and the work kind of dried up a little bit for the grader. I'm like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And then that's when the quarantine center was getting built, which is literally a couple of minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And my mate was there, and he's working flat out every single day. And I'm like, oh, that'd be so good. He goes, look, come work for us. Like, just come. Like, we've got work like you wouldn't believe. And I'm like, but I'm good where I am. I'm very, they're good to me. I'm good to them. Like, loyalty is a massive thing for me. Like, if you're loyal to me, I'm loyal to you.
Yeah.
Respect, everything like that. Just the old school WOG way.
Yeah.
But then, like, at the same day, like, loyalty isn't paying my bills.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can sit here and not work for weeks, or I can actually go there and work literally every single day. So I'm like, took a deep breath. I'm like, all right, I got to do it. So yeah, I left them. I was only there for 3 years, and then I'm working for Walker Grader Hire now. So working for them, and we've just got heaps of grading work, and that's what they specialise in. So
there you go.
Yeah, been flat out doing that. Been working all over Victoria, which has been great. They've been a great company, and I'm still there at the moment. So
yeah. I was doing a job not far from where you're saying, from the quarantine centre, and I seen there's a ute at the front of his house while I was doing land. I was doing all the nature strips and that.
Yeah.
So I was doing all the streetscapes, and I see this Walker Grader ute all the time at his house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember that, because every day I'd go past doing all the nature strips, and I'd see that ute there always.
Yeah, that would have been my place.
It could be.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been, because I'm the only one in that area that you're talking about that's near the quarantine centre.
Oh, there you go, man.
Yeah,
It probably was yours.
Yeah, it would have been me.
I would have done all the nature strips in front of your house.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. Yeah, because there's I don't have houses in front of my house.
Yeah,
it's just a big street.
Yes.
Yeah, with a big nature strip with trees, and
I'll put those in.
Yeah, that's my place. Yeah, that's where I live.
That was me beeping while you're probably trying to sleep in. Yeah.
Who's this guy always on the hole?
Yeah, who's this idiot there
Who's
with
this
bloody
idiot?
reverse beeper going off?
Yeah,
that's
where I live. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, cool. All right. So I was going to ask you, like, why did you get into graders? Because the usual thing everyone does is go into an excavator. Like, everyone's like, when I get into earth moving, excavator's the first thing. But you're on a grader. But then I'm realizing is it because of Winslow? That's the main.
No, it's not because of that. It's because, so I'm going to sound a bit weird here, is I don't do what everybody else does. If 90% of the audience loves one thing, for some reason, mentally, I go, no, don't want to be part of it. I want to be part of that other 1%. I don't know why that happens. I got no idea why. But I'm not a fan of tracks, because generally, every time we get rained off or whatever, it's really muddy conditions, challenging conditions. The dozers are out there, the diggers are out there. They're tracking through, they're shoveling tracks, and there's attachments everywhere, and there's buckets, and there's mud, and there's dust. And I'm like, nah, that's just not me. Yeah. That's not me. I like to be mobile. Like when I was at Winslow, like they sat me in a scraper for a bit. I was in a loader for a bit, and a grader, and all of them have wheels, and they're all nice, tidy units. I'm like, I just liked wheeled machines. Like digging is just like, I can operate an excavator. I can operate pretty much anything, to a certain capacity. But it just wasn't for me. I just enjoyed the finished work of a grader, and there's no implements besides all the, if I have a total session, whatever. But it's just one unit. It's nice and comfortable. You're going nice and slow. You're leaving beautiful finished work. It's such a niche art as well. It's so visually satisfying to watch as well. That's what I enjoy. Like I can look at, I don't know how blokes can sit on diggers. Like, no offense to digger operators. Yeah. You guys do fantastic work. But I could not sit there all day going like this, shaking rock. I'd rather sit at home. That's just, I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like downsizing rock and loading trucks out and pushing up stockpiles in a dozer or anything to do with tracks. I don't know. I'm just not, it just doesn't work for me. Yeah. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I see your point though, because that's why I think a lot of us get sick of it and want to change and constantly move machines, move jobs, because you think, it's going to be better somewhere else. But then you go there and it's the same thing again.
Yeah, that
might be the reason, man.
But you put up a good point right there. Is because most of the time excavators and track machines kind of stay on the one job site or the one place for a very long time. We see like now us graders, we might work a week here, a day there, a month here, 2 months there. But then I'm constantly shifting and moving.
Yeah.
So I'm working for different contractors all the time, and I'm working all over Victoria. I'm seeing the countryside. I'm meeting new people, and I absolutely love that part of it. Absolutely love that part of it.
I like that, man, because I hear people like whinging, I never want to travel, I don't want to go that far for work, and that. I understand, yes, it can be a pain, But I'll look at it a different way and go, you know what? I'm seeing something different, man.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. Exactly right. Exactly right. And like, I know travel's all part of construction, man. Like if you don't want to travel for work, go work in an office, become a project manager or an engineer. Trust me, you'll be in one location for a very long time. But that's what I enjoy about it. Just meeting people and just traveling the countryside and just exploring the place. And at the same time, like, you know, working in different locations is absolutely great. I've gone working from, you know, up near Mildura to Central Victoria, down towards Wonthaggi. I've been like, you know, up Geelong. I've been everywhere. It's been great. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
You know,
I suppose it's that mental, like the way you look at it. Maybe it's different when you've got like kids and stuff too. Maybe, I don't know, like some people like want to be home with their kids and stuff. But you just also got to look at it as in, I don't know, you just take it as it is, man. You might not be there forever. You might be only there for a week or something. It doesn't matter, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But I don't know. It depends, man. It depends.
Yeah, but you got to be willing to travel though. That's the thing. If you don't travel, you don't grow. You don't get anywhere in life.
That's what I like about what I'm doing now. So I'm sort of freelance operating.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm not really stuck on one site for too long.
Yeah, that's a good thing as well.
I'm enjoying it now because I'm not there forever. I'm only there for a little bit, then I go.
Enjoyment is a big part of it, a massive part of it, and people don't realize it because you can get stuck in the one place the whole time. You're like this associate, and you don't realize it, and then you start to convince yourself to be happy. Like you shouldn't need to convince yourself to be happy and feel free from what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's going to feel like a bloody jail, like ASAP. Like you should be able to be like, oh, I want to work when I want to work, and be like that type of stuff. Like, look, you got to put the hours in at the very start of your career. Totally understandable. But, you know, like when you get that sense of freedom and they're like, oh, you know, like being exactly a freelance operator, like it's such a great feeling.
Yeah, it is. It is. What about, so going back to the grader, so I interviewed Aaron Walsh from Walsh Earth Moving up in Queensland, I think.
Yeah. I got the back end of that.
Yeah, and he was saying how like a grader, it's not just about being an operator, and I suppose you can probably get to it too.
Yeah, that's
talk about your team, and you got to have the guys on the roll.
That's right.
So how important is it for you to like control the job?
Vital, because it costs you so much time and money. So people just think like, oh yeah, you just go to work. My wife still thinks this nowadays, and you try to explain it, and it's just through one ear and out the other with everybody else as well. So it's like, for a great operator, you don't just rock up at exactly 7 o'clock. You work until whatever time it is, and then you switch off. But the time in between that, like even on the way to work, I'm mentally preparing myself for that day. Like I'm thinking about where I'm going to be placing trucks. You know, who's on the roller for me that day. Do I have access to actually sufficient water for the material?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variables in running a grader crew. So like for the grader itself, the expectation of these job sites that we work on is like the grader runs the whole show. So the foreman would be like, all right, this is the formation you're working on. We're going to get you 2,000 ton of rock. It comes in. We want it finished. Expectation is finished work. You got to think about finished work every single day. It's not like we're a digger. You can just dig a trench, put your shields in, and then you dig as far as you dig that day, and then you just leave it and you go home and then you come back to it. Yeah. But like the expectation of being an grader is you got to finish that layer from start to finish. So like it's finished work every single day. So literally every minute, every pass, every truck counts, and you got to be methodical about how you do it as well. So you look at how your trucks are coming in, the rate that they're coming in, you look at the material, the density, the moisture. You look at who's in your roller operator, who's in your water cart. There's so many variables. So in a sense, you kind of be you got to be and think like a foreman, because the expectations of grader operators nowadays is it's just foreman-like. Like you're expected to know literally everything about construction.
Yeah.
It's because they're one of the machines on the site that's the highest paying rate. So again, like it comes down to every minute, every second counts. So like your passes have got to be quick, you've got to be effective, you've got to know how to load up the blade, you've got to know where to be putting material, especially knowing you're doing material as well. Like, is it too dry? Is it too wet? If I do start to blade mix it now, will it come back? Will it dry out quick enough? Is there enough wind? Is there enough sun? But also your roller operator, you got to make sure that are they pad footing it, giving enough passes? Is pad footing really effective? Do I just get the smooth drum out, or do we leave it sit for a bit, let it dry back a bit, hit it? There's a lot of variables. Giving it too much water if it needs it. Everything counts, and you got to be on top of it. Like mentally, like I'm exhausted at the end of the day, but you have to be mentally concentrating literally every single day. And then again, juggling that between everything else, getting phone calls or trying to do whatever you're trying to do during the day. I mean, like, to be honest, mate, most weeks I'm probably having lunch or smoko maybe. Again, it's job site dependent on what they're doing. Like I skip my lunches most of the time because it's just not worth having a break. Yeah. Like I need a break. I should be having breaks. But like that half an hour I get with the roller not being there, the water cart not being there, sometimes I got a gap in the trucks. Oh man, I catch up massively. And if I can catch up with that extra half an hour, I can actually finish earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Just having that little half an hour or 15-minute breather from everybody else, I can catch up, I can get my material back together, I can start mixing, and then when Padful comes back, he's got all this material ready to go, and then I can come back and trim. Again, like if I push hard at the start of the day, like the first half till like midday, I can finish early that day. But if I'm just kind of like, moseying in or the trucks are slow, it just pushes my day out further and further and further. So you got to be really like onto it, foot to the floor, burning diesel, just going, because otherwise you're going to be stuck there trimming till 6 o'clock at night, and it's not a good look.
And you want, I suppose you want to have it sealed and that so the water can't penetrate.
Even if they say there's going to be no rain, mate, the amount of times people have been caught out saying, we'll just trim it, seal it off tomorrow. 10 mil of rain.
Yeah.
The job's fucked. We've got to rework it when it dries back, if it dries back.
Yeah.
There's so many unknowns. I mean, don't never expect for it to not rain the next day or even have moisture the next day, because you got to think about finishing everything every single day. Or even you're finishing your rock, don't just kind of blow it out and it's left in a bit of humps or stockpiles, whatever. Square cut everything. And if you've got like maybe a load left, like a truck and trailer left, just blow it over the floor, just thin it out. Or if you want to get it picked up, get it picked up. You're better off just square cut everything, so that way you got a nice join for the next layer for the next day, and you just continue on from there, because that's what's expected. Again, it's just more or less just job site.
What they called keying it in. I remember once I was on a job site, and the supervisor said to me once, "Can you key it in with the excavator?" And I was like, "Yeah, right." And I didn't really understand what he meant.
Yeah.
But I just sort of went by what I thought common sense would be. I just
you square cut.
I squared it
off,
and then he said then I came back and he goes, "I'll do the second layer and cut that separately as well." So it's like a step. Is that
that's correct. That's right. So there's different ways of like terminology as well. So there's marrying it in, you can key it in, you can join it in. Everyone uses different terminology. So square cutting everything, it's the same thing with like two pieces of timber. Like if you have a square cut, it's going to just join better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what happens is if you let's say crushed rock, for example, if you have your grades perfect and then it just kind of, you're left with whatever at the end, you know where you finish exactly, but you leave it like kind of bulged off and it just dives off. The next, if you went to square it off, what happens is you have lamination. So you can't get rock to compact to other rock that's only like 20 mil thick. You need 100 mil minimum, right, to actually start having a sufficient compactable layer, because when you have your geotesters come in, they geotest to a certain depth. So if your layer is 200 or 150, whatever it might be, they'll probe to that depth, and they can actually see the different moisture densities between old rock and new rock, and that can actually throw out your reading. So if you start to throw out your reading, and you could build a whole road, they come geo it and they go, hold on, this whole section here we've got insufficient readings. That's rework, and you know why? It's because you didn't square cut it, you didn't join in the rock properly. So if you square cut it, you can have old rock to new rock, and you've got a married cold joint right there.
Yeah. So it's like a step, basically, isn't it? So
yeah.
So you cut down 100 mil, and then
it's just saying when you're digging a trench and they tell you to do a 1-1, because if the trench is really deep, you've got to go 1 meter across, 1 meter up, 1 meter across. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same principle.
Yeah.
But yeah, try and square cut everything. I mean, it doesn't mean, even if you think like, it doesn't matter, I'll square cut in the morning. Just have your roller roll right over the edge of the rock, even it might be just shitty rock, it's all bumpy, whatever. Compact everything, seal everything up. Just compact everything.
Yeah.
And then once they're all gone, square your blade up, and you might have a little bit of material, but you're going to use that tomorrow, the next day anyway. So you just thin it out. It could be 10 mil thick, 20 mil, it could be whatever. Just blow it out really thin. That way, again, if you have a rain event, about to have a rain event, what I like to do is when I square cut, I actually square cut a little bit further back from where I actually finished grade. So it gives me more material to thin out, but what I do is I actually use that thin out material to protect the base of where I actually place rock when we dry back from being wet. So I'll leave like a 50 mil layer of rock, or 20 mil layer, or whatever it might be, 50 mil or something like that, over the whole area of where I haven't been able to place rock yet, because I know we're going to have a rain event. And I'll just tell the roll operator, just static that back in, because that way it'll protect that base, especially if you're going from subgrade, which will be a clay or whatever it might be, to then crush rock. If you can protect that clay base with like 50 mil of rock, and trust me, it makes a difference.
Yeah.
If you've got to come back and trim 50 mil off of rock, under that 50 mil, it's dry. All you can do is just roll it off again.
Yeah, because otherwise the water will creep in under the rock.
That's right. That's exactly right. Or if not, when you protect it with that 50 mil of rock, you're actually getting the water to sheet off the road or off the formation, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You get rid of that 50 mil of what will now be shit rock. It's not a lot of rock. It's probably a truck and trailer, if that. You get rid of it, and then it's dry underneath. And the foreman's like, the job's like, oh, sweet, we can just start placing straight away. Yeah. They don't need no conformance test. We know that's the original layer right there because all you've done is just bumped it up 50. Yeah. You take away the 50 mil, your height's still there, and the ground's dry. It's a win-win. Yeah, you've sacrificed a truck or a trailer of crushed rock, but it's reusable crushed rock. You use it for your haul roads or footpaths or whatever. Use it somewhere. Yeah, you trust me, they can use it somewhere. Don't worry about that. They'll use it somewhere. But yeah, that's what keying in means. And again, there's a whole fundamentals and everything behind everything that we do, and we all do it for a reason. It's not like we just do it to do it.
Hey, did you know that Earthworks Hub is more than just a podcast? On our website, you can advertise your business in the directory, see the latest news, and get discounts from our partners. You can also become a member on our Patreon, where you'll enjoy podcasts with video, exclusive content, and behind the scenes, webinars, and chat with other members in the forums. For more info, go to www.earthworkshub.com.au. Well, we talked a lot about road construction and that, so what else, for people that don't know much about graders, what else can the grader do? It's not just for road.
Look, no, it's not just for road construction. There's such a diverse and versatile piece of equipment working in such demanding environments as well. You can be working from very cold conditions to arid, dry conditions, depending on what you're doing as well. So, like, most of my audience, again, from the US, and it's more about like snow plowing over there. They're big on all that type of stuff. So they use it for snow plowing, which is so cool. They got these snow wings and the front blades and snow plows are so cool. So again, you can use them for snow applications, getting ice off the road, getting snow off the road by putting wings on and front plows on. You can again build roads. Another great thing.
Yeah.
Bulk earthworks. They build. The list is massive. So like.
Even on subdivisions, I've seen them. They do the lots, the house lots.
The house lots,
they'll flatten them out.
Yeah, they'll flatten them out. They do everything like that. So mining haul roads as well. The list is endless, but like they can build so much and achieve so much. But then like again, like you can use the grader for material application, which is the most vital part. Like, what other machine can you use to condition material or blade mix or mix material through different densities? Like, there's no other machine can do that besides a road reclaimer or a paver. They're the only ones that can do it. Or a mixer that you use, like, you know, highway stabilizers and stuff. They mix material. Yeah. Where a grader can almost effectively do the same thing. But it comes down to just knowing your machine and the knowledge of the operator. And then a lot of operators out there, they're good at building haul roads and building road formations and train formations and stuff like that. But knowing how to utilize the machine to its full potential, again, like material application, using the scarifiers in the back properly. I mean, like, you can get front blades on graders, you can get brushes on the front of graders. I just saw there's a place in Canada, they actually have like road reclaimers you can actually put on the front of the machine. So like it sits down like a box on the front of the machine and it goes into the road or whatever it might be and actually starts to pulverize the ground. Then you can blade it, build the road, but then behind you can pair up a multi-wheel roller and you can relay that material all back in. So you're effectively reworking, conditioning, grading, and rolling out all at the same time.
Crazy, man.
That's what I like about it. It's just there's so much you can just do with a machine.
Yeah.
And it's all one person. You're a one-man army. That's what I love about it.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, I think graders, like you say, they're a lot more versatile than what people think.
That's right.
Once you master it, you can sort of do everything with it.
Look, the biggest question is like, how long does it take you to learn how to operate a grader? I go, it depends how you want to learn. Like, it depends how like passionate you are. Like, some people spend years and years trying to define their art and trying to define how good they are operating. But if you're really, there's one thing, again, I'll come back to that, but there's one thing I learned off a bodybuilder from back in the day is, in order to succeed, you must become obsessed.
Yes.
Obsession is the key to success.
Yeah.
If you're not obsessed, you'll succeed to a certain capacity. But if you're obsessed, the potentials you will unlock, mate, like you would not believe, you would not fathom. The mental stresses and pains you'll probably go through, but not being obsessed with something hurts a lot. But when you're obsessed, like, you can't understand it. It just becomes so much part of your life.
Yeah.
Like, and then people say, you should just buy your own machine if you're that obsessed. I go, yeah, I probably should, but not in this current market conditions. No. Not a chance. Well, hats off to people that can.
Yeah.
Not for me.
That was going to be
for
one of
me.
my questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider getting one? Yeah.
Yeah, not for me. We'll back to that.
Let's go around. Yeah.
We'll circle back to that. But yeah, obsession has been the key to my success in my social aspect, my marketing aspect, my networking aspect. The obsession has just been such a vital part to it. Like I've got that yellow needle in my arm. I've got the yellow blood in me now. Like I absolutely love it. It's just so obsessive. And then that's how I've become so successful in what I do is because purely just based off that. I've revolved my life around it. But circling back to becoming an owner operator, even when I was back at Windsor, just if you buy a grader, we'll make sure I'll get you plenty of work, this and that. I go, look, that's great and all. I've found the lifestyle I have right now works really well for me. Yeah. I'm happy to work like I am self-employed. I kind of act like I am self-employed. I don't say the company's mine whatsoever. Yeah. I'm not a business partner or nothing like that. I like to bring a sense of professionalism as to what I do. There are people out there that go, I'm just an operator. I just wear whatever I want, drive in here I want, do it. Like I like to have a very clean car, good uniform, clean uniform. Yeah. It just looks good on how you are as a person as well. That's what I found personally. I'm not trying to talk myself up. It's just the way how I feel. Yeah. If I feel I dress well and I act well, and especially talk professionally as well to other people, it just gets you well known within the industry, and people will remember you. But becoming an own operator, it's just not for me. Even in our current market conditions, even if I were to work somewhere around Australia, it's just not my lifestyle. I'm happy to work for someone else. It's just worked for me. It's just a happier lifestyle. Like I enjoy it. Again, hats off to people that can do it, mate. Good on you. It's just not for me.
But it's probably good for people here though, because everyone always naturally thinks that's what you have to get into.
You don't really need to. You don't. Look, my father was self-employed and he did really well. When I was a self-employed carpenter, again, I did really well, but I just found I just wasn't happy. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a whole paperwork thing, taxing, invoicing, staying on top of receipts, staying on top of everything. I didn't enjoy that part of it. Yeah. Like there's a lot of people, not just in our industry, but also I know plumbers, sparkies, like everybody else that are really good at their job. When you sit them down to start doing everything else,
other business,
all the other nitty-gritty business stuff, they panic. They just get like zero to do their financing and stuff. Like they're useless. They're no good at it. They might get their wife to do it. They're no good at it. But it's just not like, again, like I'm good at what I do, but business side of it all, like to be self-employed, like be chasing money or be doing invoicing and that type of stuff. Like I'm on top of my bookwork and everything, but it's just not for me. It's just not my lifestyle, mate.
And that's fair enough. That's it.
And I'm happy just to be an employee. Yeah. Like I really am just happy to be an employee. Yeah.
It's good. It's good for people to hear that, because it doesn't mean that you're not, any better, any worse than anyone else. No. It just means that you just don't want to do that. And I understand it. Now that I don't have all my equipment and that anymore, I actually see I don't have that pressure anymore. Like, I've got to make sure pressure. I work every day. Got to make sure. And then when I had employees, make sure that everyone's got work tomorrow and this and that. And I'm like, it's a bit of a relief actually to be.
It is. Look, and all of that is doable. Again, hands off to companies that actually do it quite well. And like, it's only like you could have like 1 employee to 200 employees. More people, more problems. Yeah. But again, like I just manage myself. I can manage myself. I don't have to manage anybody else. I don't have to manage costs and all that type of stuff. I do it to a certain capacity. I try and save as much fuel as I possibly can. They're all great things to be an employee. Yeah. And taking care of your equipment is a vital part of it. But again, like you don't have to be self-employed. I mean, look, if you want to have the drive and if you envision yourself having an excavator and you want to see your own sticker on that broom and go, oh my God, I've made it. This is so good. Go for it. Yeah. There's literally nothing stopping you from doing that besides yourself. People say, again, I can sit here and go like market conditions, this and that. Look, I know they're appalling, whatever. If you want to do it, do it. Yeah. I mean, like, man, I'm 35 years old and I'm getting to a point now. I'm like, if I want to do something, I'm just going to do it. Yeah. And I don't care what people think or say or whatever. You can say whatever you want. It's fine. If you want to take a different direction, go for it. Yeah. There's no Bible as to what you should do.
No. I think those days are gone as well, where you got to be with doing the same thing. If that's what you chose, that's a career, you're going to be doing that forever.
And you can mix it up. You can mix it up. And again, like to reiterate on what I'm talking about and becoming an operator and operating, I love what I do right now as being an operator and employee for somebody, but I'm loving this part of it. Like Graders Official is a kind of a subsidiary business. And I'm networking with a lot of people. I'm doing some back work for Caterpillar at the same time. And I'm absolutely loving that too. And there's other mobs out there I'm kind of in chats with at the moment, and, you know, doing a little back work for them as well. And I'm absolutely loving it. It's like a bit of a business type of professional thing that I'm doing, and I absolutely love it. It's just, I'm getting a lot more enjoyment out of it too. DDT was a massive part of it. Like, I felt like it was, that played a massive part in what I do. And again, networking with people and getting to know what they're up to, and knowing their insights in the market, and knowing their insights in where they're working and what works for them, and technology works for them, what grader size works for them. I really enjoyed that. I'm like, oh, I could do this for a living. Like, I wish DDT was literally every day. If it was, mate, you wouldn't get me out of where we're working. I'd sleep there. I couldn't care. I'm that obsessed about it. It was so much fun. But that's what I find so much fun and enjoyment out of it. And people that are in that position right now, they go, I hate this, or I'd rather be in a machine. But we are where we are today because of that, you know?
No, it's true. It's true. It was good. It was a good thing. That's where you actually showed me through the cat.
Yeah, through the grader.
And I was actually surprised at how many controls are in there. But it was good. And now I could see that you enjoy it, because even when you were explaining it to me, how it works and all this, I could see that passion coming through. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy really enjoys it.
It excites me. I don't know what. I got till today. I sit there and go, why do graders excite me? I go, I actually can't put it down to any reason why, because I've always loved machinery and tractors and heavy equipment, as every little kid does.
Yeah.
But now to actually do it as like a full-time job, and then like do it on the side, working alongside Westrack and any other mobs, it's just like, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's an absolute obsession. Like, nothing, I don't think anything can stop me besides myself, to be honest.
Yeah. Good, man. It's good to have that passion. Just going back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago about, the presentation at work and this and that.
That's right.
It's actually a big thing, man. Like, I read a book once on, it was like a self-development sort of book.
Yeah.
I read a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And in that book, they were talking about having that edge.
Yeah,
and
that's
they were saying how if you want to get ahead, you've always got to have that little bit of an edge. You've always got to dress that little bit better than other people on site, so that you stand out. And you always got to present your work that little bit better than everyone else. Put in that little bit extra of that edge that you put on makes a big difference overall. And then people notice those things, and then it makes you stand out from everyone else.
Yeah, that's right.
And like you're saying, some people come to work because I'm just going to work, man, a little sloppy and whatever. It makes a difference, man.
Yeah.
All those little extra things that you do, that little bit of extra effort, actually stands out and makes you move forward.
Massively, mate. Like, the way that we're kind of set up at the moment is, again, like, we've only got 6 graders and we've got 6 water trucks, and all of them, we're all sticking up the same. We've all got the same utes. They're all got work lights. They've got reverse buzzers. They're fully kitted. But like, again, like, all of our uniform, really nice uniform, but also like uniform and work cars and your machinery could be all top-notch presentation. But believe it or not, the most vital part out of all of that is yourself.
Yes.
Right? Is yourself. So let's just say you've gone to a new job site, new job site, new foreman, new everything, right? And you've just been told to go there. That's where you need to be working, right? This is one thing everyone should take note of, right?
Yeah.
Is, right, when you walk into the site sheds or wherever you might be walking to the new job site, park appropriately, right? Make sure your ute or whatever you're driving is clean. It could be your own car. It doesn't matter what it is. Make sure it's being cleaned. The presentation of yourself, make sure you got clean pants on, a nice clean, not a ratty t-shirt or whatever it might be. Look presentable. Make sure you got a nice clean, as possibly again, clean hard hat. But again, that's what I'm saying now is the presentation of your body language and the way that you talk plays such a vital part in who you are on that job site.
Yes.
If you walk in and going, I don't know this, I don't know that, like, oh, who do I, like, if you're lost for words and stuff, people are going to remember that. And you could be speaking to a superintendent and they'll be like, oh, who's this idiot? Like, walking in, like, he doesn't even know where he is. And like, your body language plays such a vital part. Stand up, like, I'm not trying to be your dad here, or your mum, but stand up straight, get a haircut, like, have a shave, like, look presentable. There's going to be a lot of people going, oh, it's just a bloody job, this and that. But like, it plays such a vital part in construction nowadays is presentation, because I'm in such a public eye that the way you act and talk, the way you walk plays such a crucial role in who you are on any job site or any place that you go to. Yeah. Like, stand up straight, walk, like, just be presentable.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think even like you say, like, if you walk in, don't be overconfident. But
don't be cocky. I'm not saying be cocky.
Yeah, but not too soft either. Like, you got to come in and show that you know what you're doing. And
be humble. Yeah, just be humble. Be humble. But again, like we were just saying just now to your question, is just be presentable in yourself.
Yeah.
Just don't be really loud and outlandish. Like there might be a person or so you work on that job site, you've known it for years or whatever. Go on this and that, you're making a big ruckus, and it kind of draws a bit of a bad attention. Like, oh, if this guy's gonna be like this around people here, what's it gonna be like on the job site?
Yeah.
So like, just be humble. I'm not saying be boring and be like, I'm saying like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Just be presentable. But then like, you know, it's just that's what I found works for me, is being like that, and I actually really enjoy it. Like, really, like I got a nice clean hard hat and good uniform. My ute's always clean and wash it every week, and people think like, it's OCD. I shouldn't have to be like that. It's just a job site. It gets dirty. Okay, yeah, no, I get dirty too, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like your presentation plays such a vital part in what you do. People don't realize it.
It does. It shows a lot about the person.
It does. No, it really does. It really does.
Actually, I remember I went for a job years and years ago to install like stereos in cars and TVs. You know, when all that was all big.
Yeah.
Subwoofers and this and that.
I miss those days.
Yeah, those days are gone.
I miss those days.
So I went for a job to do that once, and we'll do mobile phone holder installations and stuff.
That was probably a big thing back
then.
then.
Everyone used to get one installed in their car so you could put your phone in it.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and the guy goes, have you done any stuff? I'm like, yeah, I've done my own car and stuff. I did put stuff in. He goes, oh, can we go have a look at it? And I was like, what do you want to see my stuff for? And then I go, yeah, if you want. And I'm like you, I keep everything clean and all that. And he came in and he had a look and he saw how I installed my own stuff.
Yeah.
And I said to him, why are you looking at that? And he goes, you know what? The first thing I like to do is look at how they installed for themselves.
For themselves, that's right.
And he goes, if you do it nice and neat for yourself, that means that's the type of person you are. He goes, I can tell.
Right.
And I was like, no, I never actually realised.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
I was
true.
like, why is he coming to look at my car? And that's why he wanted to see what the type of work I do for myself. And I think he looked at the car, so it was all clean. He's probably like, this guy. And I got the job.
Because you care, that's why. Yeah. Because you care. A lot of people out there don't care, but if you actually care about what you're doing, you'd be like, oh, I'm only here for one more day, then I'm gone. Let's just blow it in. I'll get the hell out of here, get my book signed. Like, if you care, you're going to be getting that phone call back saying, hey, can we get you back in a month's time? And you can have the next stage. You can have the whatever else you want. Yeah. Oh, do you have another machine? Oh, we're happy to hire it. Like, you don't realize the potential you could be unlocking by just being presentable and being that type of person.
It's true.
And unlock so much potential. But look, if you want to just be blasé and whatever you do want to do and get in, get out, hey, all the power to you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What about, let's talk about technology.
Yes.
So when you started, you're saying you were using string lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, old school, yeah.
How has that like changed over the years for you? And is it better? Is it worse? Is anything?
That's the big fighting point. The greatest official. My God, do I like to stir the pot?
Yeah.
So the people that are watching this right now, when I say what operators are better, GPS operators are old school, I'm stirring the pot. You know, I want to get my algorithm going there and get the juices flowing. I'm stirring the pot. I want to get you guys talking. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But look, the best way I can explain it is literally the way that I started. It was old school. Like learning the ground was the most vital part, knowing how that all works. And then going into machine control after that, like excelled me a lot quicker. Again, like people, like the generation nowadays is so technology based that like learning technology is quite an easy thing. But if you can kind of have an old school, mentality and work ethic behind it. Like I still do quite a few grading things nowadays where like I can't use machine control, or they haven't priced for machine control, or there's no design or nothing. I make my own design or whatever it might be. I just freehand it. They go, look, we just want rock down. Can you just freehand it and just do it? Okay, yeah, that's sweet. That's done. Because I've learned how to do it without GPS.
Yeah.
So without using it, like I've learned a lot, and then using it again, it plays such a vital part. But going back to that question, technology nowadays could be the definitive decider as to being awarded a project via tender. So, like, even if you have machine control, even if it's just 2D, man, like you could be awarded that project over somebody that doesn't have it, or somebody that's never used it, or is not willing to have that technology on the machine. That plays such a vital part. I mean, like, you're happy to go out and get a brand new Samsung 25 Ultra, but you don't bag mouth of saying, oh, it's a phone. It's the same thing with machine. It's the same thing with technology on earth moving equipment. If you want the best technology for yourself, why wouldn't you put it on your own machine?
Yes.
It's an absolute no-brainer. Yeah. Like, I know the outlay is expensive. Understandable. And a lot of the biggest concern right there is, but what if it breaks? Oh, it's always down, this and that. Okay, look, your phone stuffs up. All technology all stuffs up at the end of the day. Yeah. But it depends on the user as well. If you're using it to its full potential, you'll minimize that. Depending who you're going for, if it's Topcon or Leica or MOBA or whoever it might be.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they all have their pros and cons. They all do. Some people swear by Trimble. Some people swear by Leica. It's like, it's the same conversation what I told you at DDT. It's like, do you want an iPhone? Do you want a Samsung? They all do the same thing. Yeah. They all do the same thing.
So I think you're right though. So what you're saying is that you still need, even if you've got all the technology, you still need to have the ability to freehand stuff.
Of course.
You still need that.
Yeah,
So you
of course.
can't just simply jump on the grader, plug the numbers in, and go for it.
No, there's a lot more. There's a lot more behind it than just putting in numbers and you're just grading. You hit the autos and you just go.
Yeah.
Like again, it comes down to what we were saying earlier: is material application. How does a rock sit? Does it stand up? Does it sink? Does it sink? There's a lot of variables. But as we're saying for technology, if you're not utilizing technology nowadays, and it's been the way it's been gotten over the past 5 years, advanced in the last 5 years, is astronomical.
Yeah.
5 years ago, like it was good. But like nowadays, like it's being blown out the water, especially with AI. Like it's nuts, absolutely nuts. And you know what? It increases your productivity. It makes you become more efficient, reduces time in rework. It's so easy. Survey can just give you the design. You then use that design instead of relying on survey to come out, putting stakes and pegs and string lining and checking with a laser level and having someone on the ground and you're waiting for numbers and this and that. Like, you have the design, you have the GPS. It's the same thing with a dozer or a digger or whatever else runs GPS. And same thing with Esco. You just dig, go to your design, and you just follow it through. And you're like, I don't need someone here to check the whole time. They sit standing there in the mud or the heat or in the dust.
Yeah.
You just dig. You're just a one-man army. You just dig.
Yeah.
Put your pipe in. You know where the pipe is. You throw it in, and it's off. Like technology, people need to be starting to utilize that nowadays. Just start off with a simple 2D system. If it's effective, even running for, let's just say, if you're doing subdivisions or any form of work on a grader, you've just bought a grader and you're looking at getting machine control. You can run Sonic for doing infill. So, you know, the crush rock layer between curb, you can get Sonic for like $5,000. You know, it's a great investment.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you millimeter accuracy. And it's such an easy, you know, piece of equipment to use, technology to use. It's only $5,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big, if you're willing to spend 200 plus grand or something, I think you can afford $5,000.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, utilizing machine technology plays a vital part in being awarded projects nowadays. And it should be across the board. It should be. But it's not for every single niche, not for every single job site.
Yeah.
Understandable. There are costs involved. But like, it's a no-brainer to run technology.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah. So obviously you've used a whole bunch of graders. What sort of brands have you used, and what are your likes, and what are the differences you're noticing in some of the brands?
Yeah, look, they're all part and parcel. They're all got their different, you know, aspects and things that work well for them as well.
Yeah.
Someone said on the Sunday Live last night about case graders.
Yeah.
They came up. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I've sat in the John Deere, I've sat in the case, I've sat in the cat graders, right? I haven't sat in the Komatsu yet. I will hopefully one day, but you know, that'll soon happen. The 995 I'd love to see in person. That would be monstrous to see. So that's Komatsu's largest production grader. So like it depends. It depends what you're doing. Like I love Caterpillar in the day. I'm always going to love Caterpillar.
Yeah.
For the brand purely, and I love Caterpillar graders because just the way that they're set up, the cabin, ergonomic controls, just the way that they push, the way that they trim. I can trim beautifully in a cat. Every other machine trims real well, but I can just trim really well in the cat. It just feels very comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Feels great. I love John Deere's, as in like they're a very well balanced machine. Just the way that they sit. The weight distribution plays a vital part in it all. So the weight distribution of a John Deere, I find, is a lot better than Caterpillar. Mm-hmm. With their having their tank pretty much underneath the cabin on the front side of the approach tires, I found the machine, it does bounce a bit. I found it's a bit uneven. But what I found with the John Deere graders is because the tank is positioned further back towards the engine, you got more weight over your rear tandems. I found it just sits on the ground a lot nicer. It just sits really nice. I don't like the cabin of the H series or the John Deere graders. I can operate all of them, but it's just like the visibility has just not been my thing. The whole square cabin thing in front of me. People think I'm complaining. Yeah, I'm complaining. Big deal. Big deal. I'm just so used to the visibility out of the cat. That's why. Yeah. It's so comfortable.
When you've been in multiple.
Yeah, you can say it. That's right. I haven't been a fan of the visibility out of the cat or a H series. But I just like the way that the H series and the John Deere sits. They're both identical looking machine, and they sit identically as well. Yeah. Just the weight distribution I found of those machines is a lot nicer. with more balanced out weight over the rear tandems. So to compensate that with a cat, what you can do is you can put your rear tire on the back of the rippers there to compensate for that weight distribution, and that does help as well. But I just found that the H series and the John Deeres just sit real well on the ground, like really comfortably nice. The air cons are a lot quieter. A lot of people know that they're a lot quieter in a John Deere than what they are in a cat.
Yeah,
Cats scream a little bit.
yeah.
And I'm like, you just hear this whining all day long. It's you can sit there all day long. It's fine. But the John Deere is so much more quiet. So, is this thing even on? And it's like, it's nice and cool in here. So, So yeah, that's what I like about that. As for the case graders, they're front Arctic, again, huge cabins on them. Absolutely loved it. Love the case graders. That was actually really, really fun.
Yeah,
really fun grader to use. I used it for a few months back in the day, and I actually found it trims really nicely, and it cut. Like, I was doing a bit of bulk earthworks on a rail formation, and they hired me in a case grader, and I'm like, this thing is like, it was just going in. I'm like, my 12M would not do this.
Yeah.
And the case grader was just digging in, healing material out, and oh mate, it was awesome. But what I found is as well with these different OEMs, their board positioning, pitch, and radiuses are all different as well. So like on the case grader, their boards are a lot more concaved. So material rounds out a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Where I find where the cat graders and the John Deeres, I've actually found John Deere blades are probably the most flattest blades. It's still concaved, but I found they're probably the most flattest blade out of all of them. If you kind of know what I kind of mean, like So like the roundness of the blade, Cases are like almost like a full like 180, where like I found John Deere's are a bit flatter, then you got Caterpillar, they're a bit like that. But I was really quite surprised as to the Louis Gong graders when I sussed them out was the size of the blade is a lot larger than what the traditional OEMs actually use. So like height-wise, John Deere, Case, and Cat will have the same type of board height, but Louis Gongs are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And I found that's a bit different. And again, like and it works well for them. Obviously there's R&D developed in that, and they've found it works. I'm like, it'd be interesting to see how much more material then you can then move. Yeah, they are. So, Louis Gong. So them, Sany, XMG, they're three major brands I'm trying to crack into their market. So I'm constantly chatting to them, and Bell graders as well. Bell,
yes.
Bell. So I've been speaking to Jeremiah from South Africa quite a bit lately, and just kind of sussing out what they're doing. Bell's, there's someone in New South Wales going to be trying a Bell grader soon. I want to get onto that. But effectively, it's copy for copy of a John Deere grader. Apparently. But I'm just interested to see how they work.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole talk about EV market as well. So like XCMG and Louis Gong have full electric graders as well. Fortescue will have their own BEVs as well. So Fortescue, when they start up their mining in Western Australia, they're going to have a full electric fleet. And again, they'll have integrated McLean graders, surface graders for them as well. That's another grader that I want to see from Fortescue. Again, like this is the EV market. Yeah, everyone badmouths like EVs and BEVs, but they all have their part and parcel with the ecosystem of construction.
Yeah,
it's just finding that and not stepping on people's toes, saying, "Oh, it's not sustainable." This and that. Okay, I know it costs a lot more carbon to make an EV than what not having traditional, but but it couldn't push out snow. I'm like, electric vehicles aren't pushed out. They're designed to push out snow.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Own application.
Exactly right. It has its own place in the ecosystem. Yeah. So like, those brands like that, definitely interested to see and to check out and help showcase, man. If anyone wants to showcase their graders, just reach out and happy to do it. Like,
that's it.
I'm not just, I love Cat, but I'm not just Cat. Like, doesn't matter what brand, I'm happy to help out. Even if it's parts, GET, applications and technology, reach out. Doesn't take much.
That's it.
Shoot a message.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And what about the future? What does the future hold?
So the future for Graders Official, right? Yeah. Look, there's a few things in the pipeline that I really want to get down. Look, I want it to be, if it becomes a sole income, or if I could travel the world, even better. If I can make something of it, great. To do something like yourself or the other boys down here in Australia, even something more like, like Mac Plovey and Aaron Witt, even Pushy Six. What they do as well and what they bring to the industry is absolutely fantastic. Helps highlight what we do. And construction isn't boring. It's so much fun. The people that you meet and everything, it's exhilarating. So if I could maybe do something, like I enjoy operating as well at the moment. Like, it's a great job. It's great income. It's a great place to be. But I love this side bit as well as Graders Official. So look, Godings Official for the next few years, just doing what we're doing now at the moment, doing podcasts, doing product reviews, doing all that type of stuff. Love it. If someone offers me a role in some form of position in a certain capacity to do this certain thing for motor graders, expect me to see me there the next day, because it'll happen.
Yeah, that's it.
But only if I'm not saying I'm gonna quit where I am right now.
Yeah,
I love where I am right now operating. It's a beautiful thing. But in the future, it'd be something I'm definitely looking forward to doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good. Yeah, well, you never know. It seems to be the way it's going too, though. So you're still going to have your operators and people with businesses and that. But there is a lot of this social media, a lot of marketing media.
Yeah, that's right.
All that stuff, and that's another aspect, and that's increasing.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to need people to do that too.
That's exactly, and that's what yourself are doing right now. And maybe I want to catch that train. I want to catch that train too, because it's so much fun and I enjoy it so much. You found a market for it with what you do with the Earthworks Hub. I found a market for what I do, but if we can integrate that in such a way, it becomes such a part of our life and a form of income and business and whatever. Yeah, 100%. I'm all for it. I'm never just toe in. I'm either full in or nothing. That's it.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Good. For anyone that wants to get in touch, what's the best way?
Obviously, the top of the right there is Instagram. So follow me on Instagram, graders_official. There's only one page of it. You might find other iterations, but they're all fakes or deep fakes. So yeah, Graders Official on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn as Troy Karevski, and I've got YouTube, but I don't really dabble in it that much. I might put a few shorts here and there, but there's nothing too vital on it. So if you type in Graders Official on YouTube, you'll find my little page right there. But yeah, Instagram is number one place to go. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email, gradersofficial@outlook.com. I'm more than happy to get in touch if you're in the market for any product reviews, any technology, looking for operators or looking for machines around Australia. Happy to help out. I've got a global reach as well. So if you want to know something from around the globe or information, just reach out. Happy to connect you with other people.
That's it. Troy, I'll tell you what, it's been an interesting chat. I really appreciate you coming in, and I hope you enjoyed the chat. How'd it go for you?
I loved it, man. This is so good. Such a comfortable environment to have a chat.
That's it, man. That's it. No, you're glad to come back and have another chat whenever you want, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Ivan.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure that you're following Earthworks Hub on the platforms, and Graders Official. Don't forget that. If you want to get in touch, definitely hit up Troy on Instagram. Also, the Hub Club, if you haven't joined and become a member yet of our Patreon club, make sure you go ahead and do that. Plenty of benefits there for everyone. And follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. What else is there? Spotify, YouTube. I don't know, all the aspects. I don't even know what I'm on anymore. We're just trying to go everywhere.
That's good. That's good. That's why you're so big, is because you're spread across those boards. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
That's it. So make sure you join us. Anyway, have a good one, guys. We'll see you all in the next episode.
The trucks, obviously, on the lot.
He became steel resistant.